Taurus, the bull. Head sign of the Earth Triplicity. April 19th to May 20th. This sign governs the neck and throat of the grand man, or macrocosm. It is a fixed, nocturnal, feminine, vernal, earth sign, and is the positive pole of the Earth Triplicity. The higher attributes are secretion and will. The sun enters this sign each year on or about April 19th and departs from the sign on or about May 20th. The sun on entering the sign should be given 6 days before coming into full touch and action with the influence of the sign. A person born between the dates of the 19th and 25th of April would not receive the full central results of the sign's individuality, as he would be born when the sun was on the edge of the sign. This is known as the cusp, and its nature and impulses partake of the sign the sun has just passed through or out from, and the native will also partake of the attributes of the sign of the zodiac in which the moon is located at the time of birth. This is a very hard sign to overcome. Those born under it are fearless and kind, and very magnanimous when not irritated. They are generous, and apt to load themselves with the burdens and sorrows of others. Money has no special value in their minds except for the good it will do. They have no wish to hoard, and are always ready to divide. They prefer to help with money rather than by the expenditure of time or sympathy. They have great power of concentration, and make the best metaphysical healers. By the power of their will they can project their thought to great distances and hit the mark. They are exceedingly fond of the good things of the earth, and like to spread feasts for their friends. These Taurus individuals are guided far too much by externalities and appearances. The whole physical nature seems to grow out of the 5 animal senses, but when developed above the sensual appetites, they are most powerful mentally and spiritually, making apt writers, and quick, brilliant speakers. In fact, they are very zealous and sanguine in any line of thought they may take up. They often become leaders, and readily adapt themselves to the time and the society which calls them into action. They can memorize with the greatest ease. When friendly, they are very loyal, and remain so as long as they are permitted to rule and have their own way. When they become enemies, they are the most relentless of the whole 12 signs. Almost all persons born under Taurus possess some kind of physical mediumship, and are quite apt to be found among spiritualists who deal in phenomena. Their clairvoyant gifts are usually very marked, and so is the power of independent slate writing and table tippings. They feel the minds of other people and know their thoughts. Personal appearance. Taurus rules the neck. Those born under this sign have usually full faces, wide noses and mouths, shining flesh inclined to reddishness, large shoulders, and are generally of powerful build. Companions. They will find their best friends in companionships among those born under Capricorn and Libra. Faults. It takes but little to rouse Taurus people to anger, and once excited they are utterly unmanageable. They are not comfortable people to live with when unawakened and undeveloped. They roar and kick under the slightest provocation, and at such times have no regard for feelings or furniture. When so excited they would like to kill. They can never be touched by mental argument or moral suasion when in a passion. Words infuriate them, and the best assistance that can be rendered them is to leave them entirely alone till their wrath has abated, but not in a spirit of resentment. Taurus people can be exacting, domineering, and very selfish in their physical demands and expectations. The wives of undeveloped Taurus men are usually very unhappy creatures. These people are sometimes capricious as well as passionate, and the pleasure of today is the bane of tomorrow. Taurus men are hard to cook for, and Taurus women are hypercritical in all domestic matters, as they consider that their way is the best way and the only way. Those born under this sign would like to dominate the world, but their interference in other people's affairs often causes them to be much disliked. Diseases. The diseases to which these people are subject are mental conditions, heart troubles, dropsy, and tumors, strokes and brain disorders. All these ailments and every other known to man can be entirely dominated, forever cast out, by those who realize that mind is the master and the body the servant of mind. Mode of growth. Those born under this sign should learn silence and patience as a daily exercise. They should never talk of self, and should school the mind to look upon the opposite sex so as never to be lost in passions. Without this training, a diseased imagination is sure to grow, which will overwhelm the male, and bring disaster and ruin to the female. If Taurus individuals will overcome their passions and be honest and truthful to their better natures, they can perform a mighty work. To know the right, yet to dally with the wrong, is the philosophy of death. They should remember that the greatest of all conquests is the conquest of self. They are open to all the new discoveries of human progress and hope, and can have at command vast intellectual power. They should be alone as much as possible, for they are natural psychic collectors of thought adapted for present material use. They also must learn to make all important decisions when entirely alone, because they are influenced by those around them. They must keep free from anger and jealousy. The female should use the utmost care to guard against being led away, or misled through sympathetic feeling or flattery. The most dangerous and violent types of the animal Taurus and the animal man Taurus have been subjugated by the spirit of love. Valuable bulls, which nothing could subdue, have been instantly soothed and led captive by children who love them, and in whom they have confidence. And so with the animal man. Taurus people should avoid all stimulating food and drink. Many murderers are found among the men who inflame their native passions by the use of alcoholic stimulants. All born under this sign should strive to possess their own souls and find the path of silence which leads to the temple of peace. They should remember that he that ruleth his spirit is greater than he who taketh a city. Marriages. The union of those born under Taurus and Capricorn is apt to be harmonious, and the children of these signs physically strong and robust. Next come Taurus and Libra, and the children of such union will be very bright intellectually, with very few exceptions. Where Taurus is united with those born under other signs, happiness is seldom realized. These conditions depend much upon whether the contracting parties are on the same plane of material and social life. Government of children. As a rule, most children born under this sign are willful and determined to have their own way at all hazards. They have great power of endurance, and are natural conquerors. They are very quick to follow the example of older associates, and should be carefully guarded in such respects. Although these little folks are stubborn, they are easily turned aside when governed by a strong, loving hand. They must be taught truthfulness and allegiance to law above all things. They are selfish, and when permitted to have their own way, become very unyielding and indifferent to the trouble and suffering they inflict upon others. A tremendous amount of vitality pertains to this sign, and much trouble is often caused by overeating. They must be taught kindness and sympathy for all domestic animals. Cruelty to household pets may end in a wicked desire to destroy human life. There is a constant menace to all Taurus children who are permitted to grow into a life of self-gratification. These little ones are often maliciously untruthful. Falsehood is a constant weapon for the accomplishment of their desires. They will also appropriate the property of others, and must constantly be watched and checked or they become very bold and exceedingly destructive. The governing planet is Venus, and the gems are moss agate and emerald. The astral colors are red and lemon yellow.